So you're getting ready and don't know what to wear. You open TikTok for some inspiration.
Hey guys, what's up? We're gonna go ahead and get ready for school and then the gym later.
Oh, come on.
Alright guys, get ready with me for New Year's Eve. I'm gonna go out. Oh yeah.
You find the perfect video, but what qualities about this video grabbed your attention? Why this video and not another? And how does this small moment fit into the larger ecosystem of FashionTok? In today's episode, we're diving into the digital discourse community of FashionTok with Christopher Cervantes and Isabella Reynoso. Together, we'll unpack how individuality, conformity, and comparison all come into play, and how they shape the way we interact with fashion on TikTok. Let's get into it. Alright, let's break the fourth wall. I really wish you all could see the fashion diversity in this room. Isa, Chris, would you like to introduce yourselves?
Hi everyone, my name is Isabella, but most people call me Isa for short. I am a first year at Trincal, one of CJ's friends. I intend to major in anthropology and philosophy. I wanted to do this podcast because I already have an interest in fashion, mostly about how social and cultural aspects affect the way we dress and shop for clothing. And I actually wrote a 36-page paper on how recessions affect the way we dress and shop for clothing. And so I thought it would be pretty interesting to talk about fashionable trends with my friends.
Hello guys, my name is Christopher Cervantes. I'm a first year here at Trinity College, class of 2028, and I intend to major in economics. I want to go into finance and sociology. I'm interested in fashion, and I also joined CJ because I think it is something that's very important to me and affects my lifestyle and identity. I tend to dress something more Western wear and like a cowboy style. That's something very tied to my culture, but I also like learning about other ways people express themselves through their clothing. I think it's one of the most subtle ways, but also most important ways we do that. So I'm here to talk more about it.
All right, let's start with something we've all seen on FashionTok, the constant push and pull between individuality and conformity. Everyone wants to stand out, but trends go viral for a reason. They bring people together. How do you guys feel about this tension, and what is your personal experiences with that? Just like scrolling through TikTok.
I could start off with this. I feel like, especially in Western wear, we see a lot. There is that conformality where within everyone, it's usually a very similar style where you're wearing maybe different colors, but you have a pair of boots on, your jeans, and then you have usually a collared shirt that has different patterns to it with a cowboy hat, and sometimes it is a little bit hard to add some individuality to it. I've done so either by adding patches to my hats, buying a different belt, wearing different styled. I know some people do something called starch jeans where you have the cornstarch mix, dilute it with water, and then you spray your jeans, and that way it actually makes it harder. And people started making it more of a trend, but it was actually made for people who usually work blue-collar jobs, which is very tied to Western wear. A lot of people who are working like welders, the sparks, when the jeans are starched, it makes it so that your jeans don't catch light on fire.
I actually didn't know that.
So I think that there's always that constant push and pull where you don't want to be the same as others, but at the end of the day, you are, in a way, have a similar style because you're sharing that same culture. I would actually think it's more of a lifestyle. It's very connected to my culture being Mexican.
I feel like if somebody were to go on TikTok and make a video like, oh yeah, here's my Western wear outfit, get ready with me, and their jeans aren't starched, there will be a lot of pushback within the community like, oh, what are you doing? Your jeans have to be starched, you know? And I just feel like there's a lot of people like that, and there's just a growing problem within TikTok. I just feel like it becomes hard to like kind of be yourself.
With every quote-unquote style, there is always a structure. When you talk about Western wear, when you talk about a street style, when you talk about literally any different fashion trend or style, there's going to be a structure that you follow. That's what makes it. At the end of the day, there should be some form of self-identity and self-expression that peeks through that.
What do you think how this affects people and the way they approach trends? Because obviously some trends catch on more than others, and I feel like people take that a lot into account when posting things. And I feel like sometimes people just try and catch a trend and become popular. Like, they'll really put on anything and be like, yeah, this is like the new wave. And sometimes it'll work.
I feel like every person is entitled to wear whatever they want, whenever they want, as long as they are respectful to the cultural aspect of where those trends and where the style really came from. So I feel like there is no such thing as, oh, but that's not trendy. That's not going to catch attention in the algorithm. Because at the end of the day, not everyone is going to want to dress like most of the people on the algorithm. And I feel like more recently, people who are dressing outside of what we might consider to be catchy from the algorithm and kind of moving away from conformity are the people who are succeeding the most now. I feel like more vintage wear is coming through, and that is not what you would mostly see maybe on a school campus or outside. I'm kind of glad to see that. Maybe certain trends that you might be seeing a lot within, like personally me, for teenage girls or girls between 17 through 5, I feel like it's shifting. There is more acceptance of individual style, and that itself is being praised, which I think is good. We're moving away from conformity and what might be catchy in the algorithm.
I really like that. Like, me personally, I love the idea of bringing back thrifting, or like not bringing it back, but making it popular. When I was little, I'd have experience with that. Like, you know, you show up to school with like some thrifted clothes. You're like, what is that? Like, what do you have on? Everybody had their own opinions. But I think it's definitely something that's really good in the fashion community. Obviously, I see thrift hauls, come with me thrifting, or come with me to the bins. It's getting away from conformity, but a lot of people are starting to pick up on that trend. I find it hard to find good thrifts now because people have already raided the bins.
I am glad that thrifting is gaining more traction. I personally don't thrift because it's eco-friendly, but there are some people who are very avid and are very ethical when it comes to that, so they like the idea of thrifting being environmentally friendly. But for a while, thrifting was frowned upon for people in a lower socioeconomic status. If that is a place that you need to go to find clothing, I think I'm glad that it is no longer frowned upon.
Yeah, I have an opposing view. I actually don't really like thrifting.
Can I ask why?
Yeah, I'm getting to it.
Okay.
Well, I do like thrifting, but I have a bad experience with thrifting just because the way I grew up with it. I associate it with having to go to the thrift because my parents couldn't always afford to go to the mall and buy clothes for me.
When I first asked my mom to take me to the thrift, she was like, why do you want to go to the thrift? We can go to the mall if you need something. And I was like, no, I want to see what's there. I think it'll be cool finding a little bit more of a vintage look. For a while, my mom had a bias too, because growing up, she had to go to the thrift out of necessity to buy her clothes there. My mom and my grandma both were like, why are you going? That goes to show that there's been a shift in the way the thrift is viewed.
Looking at the flip side, adding a layer to the comparison, I feel like it's something that we do subconsciously, but within a lot of these creators and trends that we follow, we do look for creators that sort of resemble us, whether that be physically or just our overall clothing aesthetic. What is your personal experience with that? I feel like I catch myself a lot of times just wondering if this color will look good on me. Am I going to really wear this out the house? Will the proportions fit? What does that entail for you guys? Do you have any connections with that?
Depending on the style I think I'm looking for, I really do look for someone who looks very similar to me or someone who has the same culture, especially for the Western wear I was talking about, just because there are a lot of little things that go into it and you can nitpick a lot of things, just like I mentioned. When I do want to expand out, I have a like appreciation for like Italy itself as a country, as a culture, and especially as clothing. So I always say that if I wasn't born Mexican, I want to be born Italian, just because like I love.
They have the same color on the flag,
right?
Yeah,
they have really nice way of like dressing. So I love like their formal wear. So they have like high end formal wear, like bespoken suits, clothing, and those two things right there. I just really like the way that they dress, and they don't always look very similar to me. So when I want to expand to other like cultures, that's when I look.
I feel like something we haven't really talked about, which is like really important in TikTok, is like the formatting of videos, kind of like get ready with me's outfit of the days. And I don't know if y'all remember Drew Walls. Like that was like the extreme, like, let me take you throughout the day. He would set up the tripods in Target, and like from getting ready in his bedroom to going to sleep literally throughout his whole day.
I love watching.
I definitely used to watch them.
I still watch them.
Yeah, it's more than just trends, obviously. It's thinking about style, representation, issues like sustainability. I guess I want to dive into a segment where we talk about why these things within TikTok give it an advantage over apps like Instagram or Pinterest. So I feel like a lot of people tend to gravitate towards TikTok, not just because it's short form video, but why TikTok?
I think first and foremost, TikTok has made people's attention span very small, which kind of sucks. Yeah. I remember the other day, he was scrolling through TikTok. He watched like 10 TikToks and he watched like the first 5 seconds. Like, how do you know if it's going to be good or not?
That is very accurate. One thing I do catch myself doing is just liking it. Like, I'll literally watch like 2 seconds of the video and I'll like it. Yeah. Like, and I'm like, sometimes I'm like, why did I like this video? Like, I'll watch the rest of it and I'm like, I liked it for no reason. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I do the same thing, but it's like, I think that really helps a lot of people, like, being stuck to your phone and the format being so much easier, the quicker 30-second, 15-second videos. I think I have a strong opinion on like formats. I personally don't like get readies with me, just because I feel like a lot of the time it is like orientated towards girls doing their makeup and like doing a lot of stuff. Like
I do like watching those.
Yeah, well, obviously, but like there's not many guys. Like when you get ready with a guy, like realistically, there's not many things you do. Like I wake up in the morning, like I brush my teeth, you know, like I use a tongue scraper, I use my mouthwash, and like all the basic stuff. I don't do anything more than that.
One thing I will say, I know there's not a lot of guys that do it, but the ones that I have seen, they'll be like, "Oh, get ready with me for a wedding," which I think is really cool. Or like a specific formal events, and I think it's just, I don't know, it's pretty useful, especially being like a young man growing up. Obviously, I have my dad to teach me how to tie a tie, but sometimes it's easier to just watch it through. Yeah, or some people don't. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Some people don't, and I think that's a useful tool right there. You know, like it obviously helps raise a lot of young men, like, you know, especially like formal events. You might not know how to tie a tie. They'll teach you how to tie a tie. They'll teach you how to put on a suit properly, and I just think that's really cool.
I appreciate that point, because I'm one of those guys who didn't know how to tie a tie, and I had to watch a 5-minute. I had to watch that 5-minute YouTube video like a couple of times. I was like, damn, how do you do it? My dad never had the opportunity to really wear ties, so it's something that I do appreciate, and that I feel like it's important, because it's like the same idea that there's so many small things that go into like these formal events.
I do like create an outfit with me. I feel like that to me is pretty cool, especially like for here. I'm from Cali, so the cold here is just completely different. Sometimes I will be on TikTok and be like, fall outfits or dress for the snow with me, and it just gives me inspiration on what I actually need to be wearing, because a hoodie is not gonna keep me warm here. So I think it's cool to watch. It does give some insight.
One thing I was going to focus on, dive into, was the authenticity of TikTok, but now that you're bringing it up, I feel like on Instagram and Pinterest, or specifically Instagram, it's tailored to a lot of established clothing brands. I just feel like TikTok is overall more authentic, and you see certain style choices and why people choose certain pieces with certain outfits. But in general, I feel like the main competitor is Instagram.
I honestly feel like when I'm on TikTok and I see creators making get readies with me, or like cleaning their house, or like Sunday recess, which is getting your life together on a Sunday before the start of the week, I feel like that is a completely different image than what you see on Instagram. Because when you see on Instagram, they might not have reels and it's just curated photos of them looking really good, but it's them after getting ready on the TikTok. So I feel like it's a different platform for them to make money, and it just shows a different image of a person. You can either decide to follow both sides or one or the other, because there are some creators who I would rather watch them get ready because of their personality, the way they talk, or the format of their videos, rather than just seeing their photos on Instagram. I feel like a lot of these small brands will hop on fashion trends to boost their business. There was a trend about bows, and suddenly purses started to have bows on them. People started buying it because it was a trend. These small businesses had to hop on trends to boost their sales because everyone wanted it.
Something I love about TikTok is the comment section. It truly feels like you're talking with your cousins or family. Like, you could really just come for somebody's life and it'll be fine. You'll see things like Temu Final Boss. I've seen stuff like, I'm gonna lie, this is fire. That's my favorite comment. I'm gonna lie, this is fire. That's my favorite one. I just love the comment section within TikTok. It really feels like you're a member of that community. Yeah, people are gonna roast you, but it's like, it's cool. It's like it's bound to happen. You know, people are not gonna like your outfit. Some people are gonna like your outfit, but it's definitely something important within the community, because even those people that don't like your outfits, they're gonna bond on the fact that they don't like it.
Saying. Just put the fries in the
bag.
bag.
I love that one. I love just the fries in the bag. That's a good one too.
That's like bad, you know. Like when someone says that, that's because like that you done like cringe or like.
No, I love that, especially within fashion creators. Like, don't really put the fries in the bag. This is not you. You're not good at making an outfit. I love that. But yeah, I know you brought it up earlier. You'd rather, or if you weren't Mexican, you'd be Italian. So I feel like something that I see often associated with Italian culture, specifically, is like the old money style. I know, Chris, you have a lot of experience with the old money style and you like it a lot.
It's Eurocentric, that's it.
Something important within TikTok is the education of where a lot of styles come from. A lot of people wear it but don't know the origins of it. TikTok is the place where that gray area gets cleared up and people can understand where a lot of trends come from. Like, I see like a lot of creators would be like real old money versus TikTok old money, because I see that a lot. They teach people the real origins of old money and navigating that space. What are you guys' experience? What do you think about TikTok as a form of education, especially with fashion?
You have to acknowledge the social, racial, and classist background to understand that it's not even a trend because you are born into old money looks. That is not something you can buy. I feel like this old money trend, like dress old money, there's no way you can dress old money because it's kind of a bit of a lifestyle. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you because it is a lifestyle. And I think that's a similar point I have with my Western wear, you know?
Today, we've explored the paradox of individuality and conformity, how comparison shapes our fashion choices, and the larger cultural impact of FashionTok as a community. Thank you so much to Chris and Isa for joining me, and thanks to all of you for listening. Don't forget to like, follow, and share if you enjoyed the episode. Until next time.